इसको मैं इस पे मूव कर दूं क्या? It's okay. Hi everyone. Welcome to another Emma. Really happy to be here. Super excited. Looking forward to answer good, insightful questions. So please ask whatever you want to ask. But first, please tell me. I hope I am audible. I hope you guys are able to see me. Guys are able to hear me. I hope all is good. बता दो फटाफट से सब बढ़िया एकदम. Okay. Perfect. Okay, all okay. I can get all okay from multiple people. So perfect. Really happy to be here. Super excited. So would love to answer as many questions as possible. I will have a hard stop at 7. So let's quickly directly jump into the questions. In the meanwhile, I will also talk a little bit about what all we are doing at Coding Ninjas, what's exciting, what's new. And we will also talk about some giveaways that I have for you guys as part of this session. Right? So let's quickly jump into a couple of questions. And then we can I'll talk about the giveaways as well, right? Like थोड़ा वेट करते हैं, थोड़ी देर में बात करेंगे. अभी के लिए let's jump into questions. ठीक है. So let's take the non-serious questions first. So कोई पूछ रहा है am I real or am I deep fake? नहीं यार, एकदम रियल हूँ मैं एकदम. तुम पूछ लो 2-4 क्वेश्चंस और तुम्हें क्लैरिटी रहेगी. आई डोंट थिंक इतना बढ़िया अभी डीप फेक हुआ है, राइट? चलो सही है. और बताओ. परफेक्ट. हाय शिवम, हाय आदर्श, हाय लोकेश. Perfect. Okay. Perfect. Let's take this from Sumanta. Sumanta is asking Coding Ninjas, what is the tech stack of Coding Ninjas and what are the challenges of the early days? Challenges of the early days, I think that will be too long. If I start talking about that, I can keep talking about that for an hour. But let's start with the tech stack. Coding Ninjas, we actually build the backend in Ruby on Rails. The front end, initially, it was Bootstrap and plain JavaScript, but now we use Angular, right? So it's Ruby on Rails, Angular. We use a little bit of Node at some places. The database is Postgres. What else? Right. So that's basically the mobile app that we built was in React Native. Yeah, that's about it. So that was the tech stack. And the challenges of when we started Coding Ninjas, I think the biggest challenge to begin with was, first of all, getting that confidence that yes, we won't do it again. We had tried to do it 3-4 times earlier. None of those startups really worked. So that was one challenge. The second challenge, which I think generally is with every startup, is to find the early employees, convince them that you are doing something big, something impactful, something that will actually work out. And these are some of the challenges that most of the startups have to face. Okay, so let's take a few more questions. Okay, so how do I do internships at Coding Ninjas? So at Coding Ninjas, in Coding Ninjas, we have, I would say, multiple types of internships, right? So we need to understand what all type of interns we have. We do have internships which are around business roles. So most of the business teams will have some sort of interns helping them out in some sort of work, right? But I think the majority of the people who are doing internship with Coding Ninjas, they are either teaching assistants. So they are helping us resolve doubts for the next set of students. I think this is an amazing role because it really helps people really improve your skills to the next level, right? Like when you're writing code, you're thinking of solving it the way that you are able to think of. But when you're solving doubts, you see what are the different ways people are thinking about it. And when you have to explain it to somebody, you really need to have a lot of clarity yourself. So your own concepts, your own sort of understanding will improve multifold by becoming a teaching assistant. Then we have content interns. Content interns are of two type. Content interns who are helping us on the Coding Ninja Studio platform, writing a lot of content, building a lot of content, right? That's a massive team of interns which are basically working with us and creating that content. But along with that, we also have content interns who are helping us create the course content. The course content that we have, the courses that you guys sort of learn from, right? Like helping us sort of improve that as well. Then we hire a lot of interns in our tech team who are basically helping us maintain the platform, build new features into the platform. That's what a lot of people are doing there as well. So that's basically the different type of interns that we have at Coding Ninjas. Perfect. Just give me 1 second. Okay, perfect. So now let's take a few more questions. Shahid is asking, today is my operating systems paper. How should I prepare for it? भाई पढ़ लो, थोड़ा पहले पूछ लेते, आज ही पेपर है, आज ही पूछ रहे हो, है ना? आई एम श्योर योर टीचर्स वुड हैव टॉट यू समथिंग, व्हाटएवर दे हैव टॉट, जस्ट रिवाइज दैट. College paper, I am sure you'll be fine. Don't worry too much about it. You'll be okay. How to become a TA? To become a TA, generally what we do is we hire our best of the students. So whoever has been doing really well in the course will have to go through 1 or 2 interviews, and then they can become teaching assistant. So the basic requirement is that you have to have done the course in the right way. You would have to have completed the course really well. Right? That's how we hire teaching assistants. Perfect. So let's take this question from Rehan. So Rehan is saying, I'm a student from SRM University, currently pursuing my BTech second year. I am interested in both DSA and web development. What should I do first according to my situation? First of all, your situation is exactly what the situation of everybody doing engineering is, right? Like, it hardly matters that you're doing your CS with AI and ML. Don't really decide that I have to do AI ML now for rest of my life. You are doing your BTech in CS. That's what we need to really worry about. Like, you will do few courses in AI ML as well. If you like that, perfect. You can stick to AI ML. But if you don't like it, it's absolutely okay. The BTech years are for us to explore what we want to do. I tell everybody that if you don't know what to do engineering, because after doing engineering you can decide what you want to do. Engineering doesn't really block anything else, right? If you become a doctor, then it's very, very hard or very weird, or not really weird, but you'll find very few people doing something else after becoming a doctor, right? Like, but if after becoming an engineer, you'll find all sort of professionals, all sort of professions, sort of engineers getting into. So engineering is like a non-decision. So similarly, in your situation, if you want to do DSA and web, first of all, for everyone, if you want to start and do anything in software development, the first thing that we need to do is DSA. We don't think of anything else first. We don't think of web. Till we are done with DSA, we will not think of any of these things. That will require a lot of restructuring. In our job bootcamp program, we actually do that. We actually start with web, but we make sure that every time there is a little bit of programming that is needed, we integrate the DSA bit into that, right? So that's very complicated in terms of structuring the program, making sure that the learners are able to learn while they are building the projects as well, right? So that's something that if you want to do it your own, like without like extensive program like that, my suggestion, and if you are in your first, second, third year of college, you have a lot of time, you should first start with DSA. Get done with that, right? Do really good job at that. A lot of companies will ask you DSA when you start applying for companies. So first of all, I think what we need to do is focus on DSA. And what do I mean by completing DSA? That means going through all topics, not via book, actually learning, actually practicing for each topic, solve 25, 30, 20, 25, 30 problems, different type of variety of problems, right? For example, in our course, we will actually make sure that once you learn, you're solving the problems in between, and then you have an assignment where you have variety of problems, so that different type of problems are being covered as part of the assignment as well, right? So you need to make sure that you're following a resource where you get this type of variety, and then you learn through that. And once you're done with all the topics, you practice all of it, now you should think of moving to web dev or ML or whatever you want to do. For example, in your case, you want to do web. What you should do, get done with DSA. A lot of people asked about roadmap for DSA, roadmap for web. This is exactly that roadmap as well. So do listen to whatever I'm saying, even if you didn't ask that question, right? So what I'm saying is, first we do DSA. We need to make sure that we are covering all the topics. We are doing, so like, not hundreds of problems for each topic, 20, 25, 30 problems should be okay, but the variety of questions has to be really good. Then once we're done with it, I generally recommend that we don't just leave DSA and spend zero time on that. That's not what we should do. We should spend some time on DSA. I think 4 or 5 hours a week is going to be good enough. Just spend 4 or 5 hours on the weekend, solve one problem every day, whatever works for you. Just stay in touch with DSA. I think that's really going to keep that confidence in you that you are good. You'll be all okay when the interviews eventually come. That insecurity of, I am doing a lot of web, but will I be okay in the interviews because they will ask me DSA? All that insecurity will go away. You will be able to focus on what is needed and continue to spend a little bit of time on DSA. Now, when you're done with DSA, you're spending time on DSA on the side. Your major time should go into these developmental skills. This can be web dev, this can be something else, but whatever you do in development, like the way we in DSA, we practice a lot in web development or any other type of development, we need to work on projects. These projects will shine on your resume. These projects will actually give you the confidence. It will actually give you the flavor of what real software development is. DSA is not real software development. DSA is like the platform which is needed for you to do well in software development, but the actual work is development. That's what you will be doing inside the company. That's what really will give you the empowerment, the confidence that this is really something that you will be able to do for a long period. This is something that you really enjoy. And that's the real power of computer science. So as much time as possible, we should spend on development. DSA, as early we can start, 4, 5, 6 months, I think we'll be okay with DSA. It stays on the side. If you start at the starting of first year, I would recommend that do it in the first 6 months. DSA done. Now 3.5 years, we will spend learning different type of development skills, working on different type of projects, doing multiple internships. That's the best use of your time, right? So that's what we need to do. Okay, Anju, that's a great feedback. Need JavaScript console to in Coding Ninjas. I'll definitely pass that on to the team. I think we do have JavaScript, but it might not be supported in all type of problems. That's what exactly you're mentioning. We do have support for JavaScript as a language on the platform. Okay. Now let's quickly talk about the giveaways that I mentioned, right? So what is it that we will have? So I'll have two rewards, or you will two couple of you will get right. So one giveaway we'll have for the best question asked. So I'll pick one of the best questions asked. Don't get offended by it. I'll just pick something which I feel is very insightful, right? Something that actually goes beyond the usual sort of things that we get asked, right? And the second is the most engaged participant, right? So if you generally are engaged, like we'll have a giveaway for you as well. What will be the giveaway? We will talk about that, right? So these are two giveaways we'll have, and we'll talk about the actual giveaways as well. Okay, so let's take the next question. Okay, so somebody's asking what is my motto behind starting Coding Ninjas, right? See, I personally sort of realized that when I was trying to hire as part of Facebook or Amazon, that it was extremely hard to find good people, even when these companies were ready to pay so much. And I had faced the other side as well. As a student, it was such a struggle to get hired into these companies because you didn't know what exactly to be done, right? Like now you guys have a lot more resources like Coding Ninjas, but at that time we didn't have those many resources. So the feel was, there are so many people who want jobs, there are so many companies who want to hire, but somehow both of the sides are struggling. So there is need for somebody to build this bridge, to make this connection, so that people here are able to upskill to a level what the companies are looking at, and then the companies are not struggling to hire people as well because they are able to find high quality people. That was the thought process, right? Personally, I knew I want to be in education. I absolutely love education. I think in education there is no worry that you will feel demotivated someday, right? My biggest problem to solve in my career was that I need to find something that I'll be motivated to do. right? If I'm not motivated to do something, it's going to be a struggle to do it for a long period. In education, that's never a problem. The number of people who keep tagging us on LinkedIn, talking about like how amazing the courses are, like the kind of jobs they were able to get from us, right? The number of people who get jobs through our placement cell, the number of people who sort of send me personally WhatsApp messages or anything and everything around that, right? This keeps me super, super, super motivated. That was the basic motivation. One is personal. I knew I need to have be in an area which I'm excited about, which where I'll be able to stay motivated. But along with that, I think the real problem to solve is help people like you, right? Help everybody who wants to upskill, who want to get to the right sort of jobs, but are not able to do it because of lack of mentorship, lack of the right resources. And that's where coding ninjas sort of pitch in. I hope that was helpful. Okay. So Karthik is saying Mern stack development roadmap. See, you will find amazing videos on our YouTube channel talking about this. But I think in general, my recommendation, please jump into stuff. Don't just keep thinking about what is the right roadmap. What do I need to do to get to the end? Jump in and do it. If you can take a resource like Coding Ninja's course, I think that's really going to help you because the roadmap will be clearly defined for you. You will get projects, you will get help whenever you want it. If that's not something that you want to do, you will find amazing videos on our YouTube channel explaining exactly step by step what you need to do. And even otherwise, right, like what I would recommend is the best roadmap that you will find, just go to our course page. If you don't want to purchase, if you want to purchase, that will give you the exact path. If you don't want to purchase, just download the curriculum. That's exactly the roadmap you should follow. That exactly tells you what all you need to learn, when do you need to learn it, right? Like when do you need to work on project, that tell you exactly what you need to do. I think that's one of the best roadmap without any nonsense around it. Just download that and start following that. I think that's going to be an amazing roadmap for you. Okay. So Rahul is saying, I'm a second year CSC student and I want to join a summer internship. What skills should I develop to get a good internship? Okay, perfect. See, generally by default, you will see companies hiring for interns in third year. Those companies will have some sort of standardized hiring process, right? They will again focus on DSA. They will have some sort of skills that they're looking for. If you're looking for an internship which is not in third year, first year, second year, during the semester, anytime around that, most likely you will be applying to relatively younger companies. Startups is where you will be applying because they don't have a very structured process of hiring. We only hire in third year, we only hire from certain college, we only do this, we are looking for this type of skill. They generally will be far more open to talk to you if you're good. If you have the right skills, they will be happy to take your help in first year as well. At Coding Ninjas, we have had interns working with us for a full year, starting from second year, third year, first year, right? Like if they had the right skills, we will be happy to take their help. We will obviously pay them. We will obviously give them a good internship. They will learn a lot, but we are happy to take help if somebody has the right skills. So if you want to take an internship in second year, you will be applying to startups. When you're applying to startups, they will not just look at your DSA skills. They would want you to have they would want you to have developmental skills as well, right? They would want you to be productive once you join the team. They don't have the time and resources to say that, hey, join for a month, you learn, and then basically you become productive. That's not something that they can afford. So the skills that you require, you need to be good in DSA. That's something that is required because for you to get good in web, for you to get good in Android, for you to get good in DSML, I think basics DSA is very, very required. So assuming that is already there, you will have to get good in one of the development skills. If you don't have clarity which skill, which development area to pick, I would recommend web development. I think that's a very, very important area. Maximum number of jobs are there. Any other thing that you do, you would require some sort of web development along with it. If you want to build a mobile application, the backend has to be written using web development. If you're building a machine learning model, that model has to be deployed on a backend, which will require web development, right? So I think in general, like knowing web development really enables you to do a lot more work. So I think if you get to a place where You've done DSA, you've done web development, you've built one or two projects, you will be in a really good shape to being able to get an internship in second year itself. Hmm. Okay. Let's take this question from Neeraj. I am a second year student and I'm doing DSA. I can't understand it. I can't make logic also. See, Neeraj, I totally understand what you're saying. I've seen so many students struggling with it. And what you need to do, first of all, I hope you're following a right resource. If you're watching random videos on YouTube and then you're not able to understand it, I telling you this is not the right way to do this. The problem with YouTube in general is you're watching somewhere something from somewhere, something else from somewhere else. After watching something, you don't get the right problems to work upon. And if you just watch videos to learn programming without writing code, it's absolutely useless. It has to be a lot of practice. For example, in Coding Ninjas, the way we do it, I'll teach you a small topic. I'll solve a couple of problems using that topic. I'll ask you to solve one or two problems. Then I'll solve a little harder problem for you. Then you will solve one or two hard problems. Then I'll solve one more or two. Like that's the way it'll work, right? Like a little bit of time in actually the topic, understanding the topic, then a lot of time solving problems, right? That's what you need to do. That's what really will give you confidence and allow you to solve problems. If you are following a resource like that and even then you are struggling, then my suggestion to you will be that please stick to easy problems to begin with. Solve, if there are like 5 easy problems, just solve 10 more easy problems. That will just give you the confidence that you're doing better, right? And if you're not able to solve a problem, spend a lot of time on that problem. Even if you have to, if even if you had to see the solution after that, spend a lot of time on that. Try and understand the solution better. Write the code yourself. Don't just move to the next problem. Write that code yourself. Once you've seen the solution, you've understood it, now remove that and write it yourself again. I'm telling you, all this will really help you keep getting better. One thing that you need to understand, it is irrelevant whether when you complete that DSA journey. What is more relevant, what is more important is that you actually complete it, right? You said you're in second year. Even if you do it, let's say in a year from here, that's absolutely okay. Consistency is important. What is important, it is that you actually reach the end line. Okay, so don't worry about it. If you are slow, absolutely okay. Slow and steady is absolutely okay. What is not okay is that we sprint, that work really hard for 1 or 2 months and then we give up. Don't give up. Consistency is something that we need to maintain, and you will be okay. I'm telling you, I used to find it super hard as well, but slowly and steadily I was able to build that confidence and I was able to do well. So Khushi is saying which language you teach us. Today, I don't teach you the language, but in general, in Coding Ninjas, we have DSA programs in C++, Java, as well as Python. Okay. So live game streamer is saying, what for final year students who did not get internships until now? What can we do now? Now we are in final year. We need to prep for job, right? So you need to do exactly the same thing. See, it hardly matters which year you are in. What matters is where are you in your coding? Where are you in your programming journey? If you've not started programming yet, you need to start from DSA. You might not be able to get a job right after your fourth year. You might take like 5 months, 6 months more. Hardly matters. It's a career of 30-35 years. Now, if you're starting a little late, it might take a little more time. Don't pressurize yourself that I need a job in the next 3 months. See, that's going to be a recipe for disaster because you will not learn things the right way. You will just try to learn the minimum that will get you the job, that will get you to the minimum job as well. So it's far better if you spend the next 7, 8, 9 months actually learning, right? Actually learning the hard skills, working on projects, building the right resume, and getting to a good job at the end of it. Because the problem is, a not so good job will not teach you as much as well. Once you join a company which is not paying you well, very likely you will not do very quality work there, right? Like that will means that over the next couple of years as well, your learning is not increasing. But if you join a good company, which even if it's paying you like 5 6 L, whatever it is paying you, right? If it is making you learn, that is what's most important, right? So please accordingly. Like, be patient. If you've not done a lot of work till now, please be patient and learn, and then get to the right place, even if it means taking a break of 3 4 months. That's absolutely okay. Okay, Abhishek is saying I am in, I don't know what this means, third semester, I guess. Yeah. Until now, I didn't do any projects and also not started learning web dev. I just stuck in DSA solving problems and also not yet confidence in DSA too. What can you suggest me? Abhishek, it's absolutely fine. Third semester is not too late. You are learning DSA, stick to it. It's absolutely okay. I'm hoping in the next 2 3 4 months, you will be able to complete it. And you don't have to gain like super confidence in DSA. Once you get to a place where you feel that I've solved 250 300 good problems, keep practicing, keep practicing. You will keep getting better at it, right? And start web development right after it. So if you feel that you've done most of the topics, you have done decent number of problems in that, I would suggest get DSA on the side. Spend 4 or 5 hours a week and spend most of your time on web development, working on projects. That's really going to give you a lot of power. Okay. I had to tag it. Thank you so much, Vishwas. I do agree. Coding Ninjas is one of the best platforms for learning DSA. I'm so glad that you feel that ways. Perfect. So Adarsh is saying, I'm a school student. From where should I start my coding journey? So Adarsh, it would be great if you had mentioned your grade as well. Uh, I think you should just start learning as soon as possible, right? Like, we get so many students who just after giving JEE, before going to college, do the DSA course. Just imagine what their learning curve, what their sort of curve in college is going to be, right? You get into college, you get inside the college once you have already learned DSA. Super powerful. You can directly jump into web dev, working on projects, do an internship after first year as well. You are on a very different trajectory than everybody else around you, right? So similarly for you, if you are in 11 12th, generally I recommend, let's focus on JE or whatever you're preparing for if there is an entrance exam coming. That's generally what I recommend, because eventually, very likely, you will go to a college. If you don't focus on JE, you spend more time coding, you will have to spend 4 years in not so great college, right? So that's generally not a very good idea. So if you're in 11 12th, my recommendation would be to focus more on JE, less on coding. uh, unless you are not in CBSE, you are in IB or some other sort of board where basically you don't have to give an entrance at the end of it. Whatever be the case, depending upon that, you can decide. If you're not in 11 12th, you're in 8th, you're ninth, perfect. If you're starting, just starting, I think Scratch is a great tool to start with. Start building some projects in Scratch. That will give you the basics of programming while it's a lot of fun. And then you can move to a real language like C++, Java, or Python. Okay. So Rahul is asking, how closely do industry expectations align with what is taught in a typical college DSA and web development curriculum? The sad part is it does not align at all. Most of the colleges sadly don't even teach web development as part of the program. Right? They'll teach DSA, but that also is very very from the point of view of how do you get marks in college. That's not from the point of view of you solve problems, right? Problem solving is not at the core of it. The What is at the core? At the core is that we have these lectures, we need to complete that. There are these 10 problems that generally come in exam. Let's just remember the code for these 10 problems and you will be okay getting marks in exam, right? That's generally what the thought process is, which is very very different when you apply for industry, when you apply for companies. Even if you know a problem, right? Like for example, in an interview, I was asked, given an array, find how many elements, how many pairs sum to zero. I was like, this is a very standard problem. I'll solve it right away. I told them also that ये तो मेरे को आता है. Are you sure you want me to do this? They were like, नहीं करो. So I solved it. Then they said, how about three elements now? Three elements that sum to zero. I said, okay, this is also a very common problem. I solved that as well. Then they said, how about four elements? And then they took it to, what about if you had to find k elements that sum to zero, right? So a problem that all of us know, but A little bit of change, little bit of change, little bit of change kept making it more complex, and shows whether you are able to do problem solving on the go, you are able to think straight, you are able to find the right answers, right? That really shows your depth. That is not what college is teaching you. I wish college was doing that. I could do something else in my life. I would not have to teach coding to all of you and so many more people out there. But the reality is college is not doing their job that well. The curriculum is not doing their job that well, which basically means that somebody like me had to build something like Coding Ninjas, which basically helps people get the right skills. Web development, honestly, my feel is that most of the colleges don't have web development as their part of their curriculum, and whichever colleges have it, that also is not very from a practical point of view, right? People are not really working, building great projects at the end of it, which basically allows them to um, really build good courses, like really build good projects at the end of it. Okay, so the giveaway that I talked about earlier, so it's actually going to be a free course from Coding Ninjas. So massive, uh, can be a massive opportunity for you to really upskill. So it's not just like some snack, some bag. It's actually a course that will allow you to upskill yourself from wherever you are, whatever the next level you want to get to, you will be able to get there. So we'll have two giveaways, one for the best question and one for the most engaged person in the chat. Okay. Perfect. Now this is a good problem to have. Adarsh is saying I placed at a 30 LPA job, but I don't want to work in this company. What should I do? This is empowerment, right? Like now you feel that job to lag gayi 30 lakh ki, but maza nahi aa raha, kuch aur karna hai. So I think before you decide that you want to quit, you need to figure out what do you actually want to do. So explore that. Right now you're just saying I don't like this. But if you give up that for something else, which you don't know whether you will like or not, is a problem. So I think you should figure out what do you don't like about working at this company. So personally, for example, when I joined Amazon, what I didn't really like about Amazon is there were like 10,000 people working with me. And I felt like this, I'm like very small part of this huge machine. And even if I'm not there, it will be all okay. Like it's all fine, right? Like so I'm not really that important in the whole thing, and like I didn't really feel that motivation while working there. That is what I got as an insight about myself, that what sort of company I'll not be able to work with, right? So you need to find that insight. Why don't you like working at this company? What is the issue that you're facing, right? And then we will be able to take the best guess what company we should go to, where we will be able to solve that problem. One good part is once you are at a certain pay scale, you will be able to find another company, if not at 30, maybe at 25. How does that matter, right? Both of them are amazing amount of money. You will not be able to, very likely you will not be able to spend either 25 or 30. It's going to go to your bank, you will be all set, and it's an early, you're still starting to build your career. Over time it's going to be irrelevant. So it's very important that we find the right job for us. And as I said, it's very important that we find the reason why we are not liking it. At Amazon I had clarity, that's why I'm not liking it. So I was very, very clear that the next company has to be smaller company. At Facebook, when I joined, there were only 500 engineers, much smaller company, right? After that, I realized I need to be in a much smaller company even compared to that. So either I need to build something from scratch, or I will be in a company which is like 10, 15 people. That'll be like a sweet spot where I will feel that I'm able to actually add value. Right? That's something that I got to know about myself. Similarly, you need to figure it out for yourself. Okay. Okay, let's take this. So Brijesh is asking, oh no, this is from Brijesh. This is Brijesh. Yeah. Brijesh is asking, is only DSA enough for getting product-based companies, or do we need to do something more? Being from a tier 3 college, right? So see, one thing that I want all of you to realize is that most of us spent 2 years prepping for JE, right? Or some other type of entrance exam. And those 2 years, we were just thinking of that one particular day. We were not thinking of, hey, I am excited about physics, I want to learn physics. We were not doing, oh, I'm super excited about chemistry, I want to learn chemistry. Anyways, who is interested in chemistry anyways? But yeah, so then we were not thinking of math, we were thinking of JE. What do I need to do well in JE? Whatever I'm learning, I'm not learning for the sake of learning, I'm learning for that particular exam. What we have done, all of us together have made the 4 years of college about the placement. Please stop that. Don't do that. Don't just think about what do I need to do, the minimum I need to do to get a job. You have 4 years. Why would you learn only DSA? Learn DSA. That's the first thing. But post that, move to web development, move to Android, move to ML, learn all these things. That's really going to tell you what you want to do. See, for example, at Stanford, I took a course in web development. I took a course in machine learning. I took a course in iOS development. That really gave me a lot of clarity what I really like. I absolutely loved ML when I did the course. But when I did web development and iOS, I loved that more. I was very, very clear. I need to be in an area where I'm building something and it's out there. It can be out there. People can start using it. And that is very, very important for me. Whatever I'm building, I need to be able to get it out there. Right? It has to be less researchy, more developmental oriented, and like being able to get it out there. So my recommendation, please don't stop at DSA. I think having good projects in your resume is very, very important. Most of the companies will want that. And especially if you're from a tier 3 college, you need to showcase that you are good. DSA does not allow you to showcase that. Building good projects really showcases that you are good and you will be able to do a good job. Okay. Let's take this from Indrajit. Sir, I'm in a service-based company and I'm on bench from 1 year. What should I do and where should I start DSA? What track should I follow to get a job in product-based company? So Indrajit, I would definitely recommend you to check out our job bootcamp program. Even if you don't want to enroll, it will give you a lot of clarity on what you need to do to get into a product-based company. The program is structured, defined, like the way it is developed is for people who are not really enjoying their job and want to move into a product-based company. So most of the common use case is service-based company to product-based company. That is how that program is structured. It takes you through DSA, it takes you through web development, helps you practice a lot of DSA problems, helps you sort of do multiple projects as well, which will look good on your resume, helps you prepare your resume, connects you with the right companies, helps you with mock interviews, right? Anything and everything that is needed for you to get a good job is that something that will take care of in that program. So please go check it out. I think it's going to be very, very helpful for you. Okay, that's a great question from Raj. Please give me a go through how much DSA is necessary for a full stack web developer and how much practice in coding platform also needed for them. See, Raj, generally, my recommendation, let's do it well. But if you're absolutely struggling, you're finding it too hard, you're not motivated, you don't like DSA much, you want to jump into web development, I would suggest we need to get to a certain level, right? Like I would suggest at least till trees we should be there. We should know a little bit whatever it is hash map, and then we can do whenever we need. We are doing web development. If we need some help, we can figure it out at that time, right? We can leave some of the topics which are, I would say, like priority queues. Some of these topics we can let go for now, but eventually we'll have to pick them at some place, because if you want to be a good web developer, you need to have these tools in your toolkit, right? You need to be able to know that, hey, this problem I can solve using this. So if you're finding it too hard, you can jump on it early, but I would still suggest continue doing DSA a little bit on the back, because that will give you that confidence that will allow you to finish the remaining topics. But for for you to start web development, I think as long as you get into that linked list, stacks, trees sort of range, you'll be okay in terms of being able to understand and do well in web development. That's going to be okay. So I'm saying, I have heard companies have separate programming languages for their work. Is it true? Ah, okay. So what he's asking is, do companies have specific languages for their own work? Very rarely, right? Some of the companies do, but very rarely. For example, at Amazon, I was working in C++, Java, Perl, which are languages that everybody uses. At Facebook, I was working on PHP, I was working on Objective C. These are again languages that a lot of people use. So very rarely you will find a company having very something specific language that they're using. But again, if you are good in one language, I'm telling you, moving to any other language is absolutely cakewalk. It will not take you more than a week or 2 weeks to get used to a new language and start using it. Right? You'll be absolutely okay. So Vansh is saying, at the present time, is DSA my only option to step into the corporate world? I tried DSA, but don't seem to enjoy it that much. I only do it as something I must do. I like development more. See, that's not true. Most of the startups, most of the mid-sized companies will be absolutely happy if you have an amazing development profile to not look at your DSA. That being said, I think to a certain level, having DSA helps you become a better developer as well. So we can't just completely let that go. We need to get to a certain level. And I do understand that if you don't enjoy DSA at all, doing only DSA is very painful. So if you are at a certain level, as I mentioned earlier, spend most of your time doing development, something that you enjoy. Then spend some time doing DSA as well. And that some time will generally be manageable. You will be able to find motivation within you to do that, right? So please do that. Please follow this. Okay, let's take. Sir, which language is helpful for EC for core job? Oh, okay. You are looking for a core job in EC. I think a lot of work is generally done on C or MATLAB, but I'm not an expert, so you will have to find that answer. But I think one of these two languages is what most of the electronics people actually end up using, C++ or MATLAB. But you should check it out. Ask your seniors or something like that. Hi, Anonymous. I think I've already answered this. How to manage DSA along with dev, right? The whole idea is that you can manage it, but you should not manage both of these things together. You should get good in DSA, then move to dev. When you are on dev, do DSA a little bit on the side and you'll be okay. Okay, Gaurav is saying that whenever I go through a problem, I find it really hard to solve, even the easy or the medium ones. What should I do? I always end up watching the solution video. Gaurav, as I mentioned earlier as well, it's very important that when you're watching the solution video, you had to watch it, it's okay, watch it. But make sure that you understand it deeply. Try to spend a lot of time after watching the solution video. Try to think of what I could have done better. What are the different ways to solve this? Just don't be happy with one way that the solution video is explaining. And then you need to make sure that you actually write the code yourself or whatever you just watched, right? That's very, very important. Don't worry. As I said earlier, slow and steady is absolutely okay. Consistency is what is most important. So stay at it, keep at it. It'll take a little more time for you rather than other people, but that's absolutely okay. Perfect. Great question. I'm in third year of college. At this point, what should I do after learning web development and DSA? I hope you have not just learned web development, you have worked on projects, right? All of us who are doing development work should work on projects is okay, but not 8, 10 projects. 1 or 2 projects is what we should have in our resume, because if you have 1 or 2, very likely you will go deep in them. Create as many features as possible, do as much work as possible. I strongly recommend that whatever project we do, it has to be deployed on the servers. The link has to be there in our resume for anybody to see. Because there is one thing that you are saying that you have done something, but it's absolutely another thing when you say, I've done something, you can check it out, right? Having that link adds a lot of value. So you should have that. People should be able to do that. And that's really going to add a lot of value if you have a good project in your profile. Now, if you feel you really enjoyed web development, you want to continue in it, I would highly recommend doing an internship. Apply to startups. First of all, we need to have that good project. If you have that good project, you will be able to get internships. Get an internship. That's really going to give you a lot of value. It will add a lot of weight on your resume, right? So do that. But if you're not enjoying web development, you want to try something else, that's absolutely okay. You don't have to get into another field, you don't have to try another field. But if you don't enjoy web development, you want to try another field, that's absolutely okay as well. That's something that you will have to take a call. But generally, people, once they get by the end of web development, they are generally mature enough to figure out, do a little bit of exploration, figure out if they want to get into ML or want to get into mobile development. You will be able to find those answers for yourself. Okay. Okay, let's take this. So Madhuji is saying how to deal with procrastination. Right. See, procrastination, I think, happens because of two, three things. One is, if I decide that I am getting into second year, in second year, I will make sure that I complete DSA and I complete web development. Right. I used to do this. I'm getting into second year. I'll make sure that I complete this much work in this year. The problem is the year is too long. It has so many days. How does it matter if I don't do anything today? I can just start from tomorrow, or I can start from next month as well. Right? And this procrastination of tomorrow never ends. One thing that you need to do is, great that you have a plan for a year, what you want to achieve. You need to break that down. You need to have a clear plan for the next 3 months. What do you want to achieve in the next 3 months? Then you need to have a plan. What do you want to achieve in this month, this week, and ideally today? Right? Once you get up in the morning, the first thing you should do, what all will I take care of today? That's something that I do as of now. Like in the morning, I'll write down what all I need to do today. That's something that the first thing in the morning, if you do that, that really gives you exactly what all you need to do, and you are able to stay productive. I think half of the time you guys end up wasting in figuring out what to do, when to do. Should I do this or should I do that? Please get rid of all these decisions. First thing in the morning, 15-20 minutes, quickly decide what all you need to do. Just go by in that order and keep completing that throughout the day. That'll just make you far more productive. And another thing is, something that you really want to get done, just do it first thing in the morning. That'll just keep you happy for the rest of the day. Just take care of it first thing in the morning and you'll be absolutely okay. Right? That's very, very important. You get up, you get done with it, you feel so happy about yourself, you feel productive, you feel confident about yourself. The rest of the day goes well as well. You'll be more productive as well. That's what I like to do again. Right? Whatever I find is the hardest, whatever is going to give me the best sort of happiness, motivation, I'll just get done with that first thing in the morning. Because if you don't do it first thing in the morning, generally we'll keep saying, okay, I'll do it after 15 minutes, I'll do it after half an hour, just one more episode, and that procrastination never ends. Right? At the end of the day, you will not have the energy to do it. So first thing in the morning. And the second thing that we need to do is have short-term goals. I think that's extremely important. Just saying, I want to get this done in this year is too long a time. We need to have that plan of what I need to get done in this month, and then a daily sort of checklist that I want to get this done today is going to be very, very helpful. Now, please apply these things. Apply these things. Just me saying will not help you, right? Like, you need to apply. So make sure tomorrow morning, once you get up, first 15 minutes, just answer this for yourself. What do you want to get done today? Okay, as we have 10 more minutes, let's quickly take a few more questions. Okay. So which type of projects to make in web development to mention on resume have how much important is competitive programming? Great question. See, when we are learning web development, what would look good on your resume? I think something that will have a little more detailed sort of, not just like a vanilla sort of project, something that you have gone deep into, something that you have deployed. And honestly, something that will be very impressive is if you have deployed and then you got people to use it for a while and you have actually updated it as per the feedback of users. That's going to be absolutely valuable. So if you're able to say that these many people use it, these are the features I was able to build post taking feedback from them, that's like a complete product cycle. So that's going to be very, very impressive if you're able to do that. That's one thing. Second is, how much important is competitive programming? See, I strongly believe competitive programming is important if you really enjoy it. If you really enjoy it, you want to do it, absolutely okay. Otherwise, from job interviews point of view, very few companies will test you on competitive programming skill set. They will mostly focus on DSA, web development. They'll sort of go around these areas rather than going into the depth of competitive programming. I hope that was helpful. Let's move to the next one. So, Techie 2 is saying, I'm not so strong in mathematics. Will it affect my software engineering journey? See, math does help in DSA problem solving. But once you get into web development, the level of DSA, the level of things that you require, it doesn't require very in depth math. It requires a lot more solutioning, lot of work that you will do. You will be able to manage. So I think you start with DSA, after a certain level, jump into web development, spend a lot of time doing web development. Practice key will make you much better web developer over time, and you'll be okay. Don't worry about it. Okay. So Sahil is asking, what should we do on a daily basis to keep ourselves motivated for coding? See, one thing is, it's very hard to stay motivated doing something that you don't enjoy at all. Good part is, once you start getting a little better at coding, you will find that motivation as well, because we all of us enjoy doing something that we are good at, right? Automatically we start enjoying that. So a little bit of motivation initially will help you stay motivated for the long term as well. In general, what I said earlier about procrastination, I think that's very important. Just get done with it first thing in the morning. I'm telling you, after some time you'll start enjoying it. You'll be okay. Just make sure the first thing in the morning you get up, you get to your laptop and you start working. That's the first thing you should do. It's really going to help you. Okay. So Rishabh is asking, are companies focusing on AI ML rather than DSA and dev? As software developer, what do we basically do in a company? Oh, great question. See, I don't think that's true. A lot of companies are now starting to think about AI ML. They will have one or two engineers working on. Most of the companies. If they will have 10 web developers, they'll have one or two AI ML developers as well. Most of the companies, right? So it's not that they are just focusing on AI ML and not on dev and DSA. If there is a machine learning role, obviously they'll focus on machine learning. But generally, software developer roles, they'll focus on dev and development. Now, what do as a software developer do in a company, right? So, for example, in Coding Ninjas, we have software developers. What are they doing? They're working on the Coding Ninja Studio platform, which has interview experiences, which has problems that you need to work upon. There is an online compiler that works, right? So all of that requires developers to continuously work upon. Now slowly and steadily, like last 6 months, we started working on gamification on that platform. That basically meant that as you work, you get some points. As you get more points, you get more privileges, and you get more certificates, badges. All that really helps you in motivation, right? Staying motivated. Somebody who's asking how to stay motivated, I think you should use a platform like Coding Ninja Studio, because that actually helps you sort of keep getting these sort of gamification things which help you stay motivated, right? So then we have the classroom where we have so many doubts being asked, our teaching assistant solving, using the platform to solve those doubts, right? All that requires software developers to keep working on that. And we will continuously keep coming up with new ideas, how to improve the doubt resolution system, how to improve the learning process, how to improve the compiler as well. And all that work needs to be taken by software developers. They will keep working on those features, keep improving it, right? So the basis company to company, the product is different, but the feeling is very similar. You work on building a product, then you basically move to the you improve new features, you find new features to build upon, you improve things basis the feedback that is given by the users as well. Okay guys, let's take last 3 questions. So this is again a great question by Rehan. What suggestion will I give to students regarding the changing interests of job market? See, one thing that you need to know is the job market's interest changes, but the basics that are needed from a software developer tend to stay very similar. If you want to be a software developer, you need to be ready to upskill very, very frequently. Things will keep changing and you will have to keep improving. You will have to keep learning new stuff. That's something that's going to come with this job. The speed at which technology changes is amazing. So you will have to get used to learning new things, right? Like keep updating yourself. That's very, very important as a software developer. But the good part is, if you are a good software developer, don't try to become a Java developer, a PHP developer, a Python developer, or some developer. Try to become a great software developer. Then anything new comes in, you will be able to pick up those things and sort of stay on top of things. But this requires a constant work. This requires you to constantly work upon things. The basics of it stays very, very similar. Aita is saying, is it good to experiment even after you have found what you love, or should I stick to it? Absolutely personal thing, right? You're enjoying doing it. You don't feel like trying anything else. You want to continuously continue to work on this. Absolutely. You feel like, oh, this thing also sounds exciting. Absolutely try. Go for it. Guys, 4 years is a long, long period. And the fact that you have found something that you love tells me you are motivated, tells me that you have done a lot of effort, because this requires work. So even after you have found it, you want to explore something else, please go ahead and do it. Nothing should stop you from doing that, because we need to constantly learn. That is something that is very, very important for us to grow financially, intellectually. It's very, very important that we are curious, we want to learn stuff, we want to put ourselves in uncomfortable situations and continuously keep learning. See, I feel a little bad answering this question every time I answer this. You're asking tips for a tier 3 college student to grab a placement in a dream company. See, guys, we need to really work upon the identity that you have for yourself in your head. If you will keep thinking that you're a tier 3 college student, that's the identity you're representing yourself with, right? If you will keep saying to yourself that what is your identity? I am a tier 3 college student. You have almost accepted defeat when you say that. You are saying that I am not that great. You are saying that I am at a great disadvantage. On the other hand, if you say I am an aspiring software developer, I want to do really well. And the reality, you need to understand, tier 1 college, tier 2 college, tier 3 college, there is hardly any difference in the quality of education. The difference is in the level of motivation of students. People who are in tier 1 colleges are super motivated because they have shown that by working really hard before getting into college. And now all of them together are super motivated. All of them want to do new things, great things, right? So they will continue working hard. It is hardly about the college teaching them really well. It's mostly about people being motivated, everybody around me being motivated, keeping me motivated, and I am working hard towards that. Stop thinking about yourself as a tier 3 college student. Think about yourself as an aspiring software developer. And I am assuring you, tech is the only area which is very, very liberal in terms of, if you are good, if you have good skill set, your college will not matter. Your degree will not matter. What will matter is your skill level. I just need to give you a test and I'll be able to figure out what level you are in your DSA skills. I can just give you assignment. In 10 days, I can figure out if you're a good web developer or a bad web developer. It is not like management. It is not like being a good manager, which is very, very subjective, very hard to figure out. Tech is far more black and white than anything else. So if you are good, you will be able to do well. Please do not call yourself a tier 3 college student. Hi everyone. Sorry. Everybody, are you able to hear me? Can you give me a quick? Yes, we just had a small power cut, which basically meant that. Uh, Perfect. Perfect. Right. So I was just answering Prabhat's question. I hope. Sorry, the camera is not working. We are anyways at 7 o'clock. So uh, just want to quickly announce the giveaway winners. Right. So we have Brijesh. Um Brijesh, who is going to win the best question. Only DSA is enough, or do we need to do something else? Right, like that's the best question that we have from this Emma. And along with that, the most engaged user is Rahul Jaswal. Our team will get in touch. Both of you have won a course from Coding Ninjas. I hope you guys will make the maximum of it. Do upskill. That's what we need to do to get to wherever we want to do in our life, right? Like we need to upskill, as I mentioned earlier as well. Along with that, we do have something for all of you, which is basically a discount coupon which is available till end of day today, right? So this is the coupon code that you can use for all the courses in the upskilling courses list that we have. You can use this coupon code and you will get a 15% off as well, right? I hope this was helpful. Really sorry for the issue that we faced in the end. I hope I'm still audible and I hope you guys are still here. Thank you so much. Absolutely enjoyed talking to all of you. I hope this was helpful. I'll see you again very, very soon. Uh, have a great day. Please start learning. Please keep learning and find ways to stay motivated. Thank you so much. Bye bye.